My name is Dr. Christina Christian. I am an assistant professor at Central Connecticut State University. I work in the Department of Special Education and Interventions. As a special educator, this is actually my 30th year. I'm celebrating 30 years in the field in special education. In the field, of course, if you know anything about special education, you actually devote your expertise, if you will, to certain areas, and mine is behavior disabilities. As a special educator working with children identified as having, some type of social emotional disorder, one of the things that I have found to be critical to my success is working with parents. In fact, in special education, legally, you have to work with parents. We have to meet with them at least once a year. And because we have to have a relationship with them, that's where I sort of fell in love with working with parents. I know the average educator can sort of see working with parents as a scary thing because they never know what to expect with the parents. And although I understand that, that's true. You never know what to really expect. After so many years of working with parents, they're actually my favorite people to work with. One, because when I meet the parent of one of my students, it helps me to understand the student. Without that parent, I'm kind of working in the dark. Another reason why I really enjoy partnering with parents is when you're working with children with some type of behavioral disability, very often the behavior was learned at home. And if it wasn't learned at home, it's perpetuated at home. And so if I don't partner with that parent, I can be spinning my wheels all day long in a classroom trying to bring about change and not really getting as far as I'd like, or not really being as effective as I want to be with the student because I'm not partnering with the parent. And so for many reasons, I learned to see parents as a partner and have that relationship with them and let them know. I don't hesitate to let them know I need your help. And what I have learned from parents is when we let them know I need you, and it's not some perfunctory statement that we really don't mean it. We just need their help this one time. I don't do that. I let them know I really need your help. And I tell them, here are the things I've tried and I'm not getting far. Can you help me and let me know what you suggest? When parents see that they have value and that they can inform you, the relationship after that is one of mutual respect, and it becomes a true partnership. And for me, that shows me just how much parents do care when you give them room to show it. When you give them room to show their value, they can show you, I care and I want to see my child succeed. One of the things that I also do with parents, I know, for anyone who's been in education for, 15, 20 years, you know that standardized testing is kind of taken over. And because of that, there's a lot of terminology that we use in our field that parents don't really understand. Now we've gotten to the point of how well is my student doing? We give them the scores, we send them along. But one of the things that I value when it comes to my relationship with parents is letting them know, here's how you can help with those scores. Because a lot of times when we look at standardized testing, we tend to push parents away and take on the responsibility alone, which might be the reason why we're not seeing the type of test results that we want for students. So one of the things that I tell parents, and it sounds strange, but if you stop and think about the testing, we have tests, and let's just take elementary school students. We have a reading test that has, it asks them to read a recipe. and it asks them to answer questions about a recipe. Well, because I know that that's an assessment question, I can let the parent know, do me a favor, if you can find a recipe on the back of a cereal box or on the back of a macaroni and cheese box or the back of a can of soup, if you can find a recipe, can you help your child make whatever that dish is? Make that and help them to understand the recipe, because that's going to be an assessment question. Another thing I tell parents, there's a tendency when we take our children, our little ones, to a restaurant, it's usually fast food, and we go in, we name what we want, and we leave. But I tell parents, if you can do it at least one time, can you take them to a restaurant where there is actually a menu? Because on the assessment, they're going to have to read a menu. And so little things like that, hanging pictures in the house, recipes, moving furniture around can help with area and perimeter. There's so much that you can do in the house that is regular household duties. Another thing that I tell parents, when you take your children to the grocery store, instead of giving them the phone and leaving them in the car or giving them the phone and letting them sit in the buggy and do nothing, can you ask them for their help? Give them a grocery list and tell them you need help finding the groceries. And not only finding the groceries, but finding, let's say, the least expensive. I mean, if you're on a budget, you can say to your child, we're on a budget, we have this much money, but we have to get these items. Can you tell me which we're going to choose? You can have them help you find the best quality. And when I tell this to parents, there are a couple of things that happens. One, parents are appreciative, again, that I'm including them in on something. It also helps them because how much better is it, and I'm speaking to parents now, how much better is it when a teacher tells you, I need you to help your child with reading, but they tell you to cook with your child. Instead of sit down at a table and read a book, they tell you, you know what, I know you need to cook dinner, so how about you use the recipe on the back of that box to help your child understand and develop reading comprehension, and to also help them with cooking. So these are some of the reasons why I really like that partnership with parents, because I don't have to take on all of the responsibility. I don't want all of it. Thanks. I'd like to share it. And who better to share the responsibility of a child's life with than their parent? Who else is going to be equally as committed? And so it's for that reason that I tell anyone, whether or not you're in the field of special education when you legally have to partner with the parent, or in your regular education when you say, you know what, I really do need my scores to improve, but here's how I need to partner with parents to get that to happen. That's real partnership with a parent, and it makes it worth making that first phone call with them to start to build that relationship.